We've hit the halfway point of conference play, and the Wolverines are right in the middle of the pack. After 2 losses last week, UVU looks to bounce back in front of their hometown crowd tonight versus Chicago State. It's the Cougars and the Wolverines next on UVU TV. Happy Monday evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lockhart Arena on the campus of Utah Valley University for tonight's WAC matchup between the Chicago State Cougars and the hometown Utah Valley Wolverines. Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon Crow alongside Kaylee Doxey. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Monday evening here on UVU TV and the WAC Digital Network. Kaylee, it is Columbus Day. Last week, Utah Valley had a hard time navigating their way through the seas of conference play. 2 home losses, very tough, very hard to get over.
Yeah, absolutely, especially being 5-set losses where they had opportunities in both matches to finish and they couldn't do it. So coming back after 2 matches like that can be really hard, but I think Chicago State is a good opponent to bounce back on.
And if anybody can help get this squad back up in gear is what you just saw right there, head coach Sam Matoa. He's going to try and have his home team ready to go. They got new uniforms for Breast Cancer Awareness Month tonight, but like you said, Chicago State, an easy opponent on paper, but it's the conference, and so you never know. The stats don't really help them in any way, but they're going to try and do the best they can.
Right. You see their record right there, 0-5 in conference. They're 9th in WAC play. They have a lower hitting percentage.
Fans, please welcome to the court your Utah Valley Wolverines. The Western Athletic Conference at Utah Valley University promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We encourage you to cheer for your team during tonight's competition. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, coaches, and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, and sexist comments or other intimidating chants or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated. In our grounds for removal from the Lockhart Arena. The WAC and UVU thank you for your cooperation. Go Wolverines!
We've hit the halfway point of conference play, and the Wolverines are right in the middle of the pack. After 2 losses last week, UVU looks to bounce back in front of their hometown crowd tonight versus Chicago State. It's the Cougars and the Wolverines next on UVU TV. Happy Monday evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lockhart Arena on the campus of Utah Valley University for tonight's WAC matchup between the Chicago State Cougars and the hometown Utah Valley Wolverines. Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon Crow alongside Kaylee Doxey. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Monday evening here on UVU TV and the WAC Digital Network. Kaylee, it is Columbus Day. Last week, Utah Valley had a hard time navigating their way through the seas of conference play. 2 home losses, very tough, very hard to get over.
Yeah, absolutely, especially being 5-set losses where they had opportunities in both matches to finish and they couldn't do it. So coming back after 2 matches like that can be really hard, but I think Chicago State is a good opponent to bounce back on.
And if anybody can help get this squad back up in gear, is what you just saw right there, head coach Sam Matoa. He's going to try and have his home team ready to go. They got new uniforms for Breast Cancer Awareness Month tonight, but like you said, Chicago State, an easy opponent on paper, but it's the conference, and so you never know. The stats don't really help them in any way, but they're going to try and do the best they can.
Right. You see their record right there, 0-5 in conference. They're 9th in WAC play. They have a lower hitting percentage, lower blocks per set, and they're averaging right now 15 points per set of 25. So you'd like to see Utah Valley capitalize on some of those stats that we're seeing and take the sets right away, maybe do a 3-set match. But you never want to label an opponent easy because you lose focus and you can almost feel like you can get away with just showing up instead of working hard, playing hard, doing all the things that you need to do to actually win.
Historically speaking, Utah Valley has only lost 1 in about 25 matches versus Chicago State. But tip-off next, right here on UVU TV between Chicago State and Utah Valley.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field,
on the track, on the court, in the pool,
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
The officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about keeping everything in perspective.
It's about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We hope you'll team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines. Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Here at Intermountain Healthcare, our doctors have experience treating young athletes, professional athletes, and the athlete next door. We treat everyday injuries, sports injuries, concussions, total joint replacements, and everything in between. Come visit our board-certified physicians and surgeons here at Intermountain Healthcare's Utah Valley Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. We're committed to keeping you moving.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
To become, no matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from DNA analysis to animal behavior, there is a place for you at UVU. A place to rise, to engage, to succeed, to become.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lockhart Arena on the campus of Utah Valley University. Kaylee D and BC with you here. Chicago State versus Utah Valley about to get underway. Utah Valley coming into this one after losing 2 at home last week. On Thursday, they dropped a 5-setter to UMKC. Then 2 days after that, against California Baptist, another 5-setter. And they look to bounce back today against the winless Chicago State Cougars. A couple players to keep your eyes out for. Michaela Jarema for Utah Valley and Josie Borum for Chicago State. Utah Valley tonight in their breast cancer awareness supporting uniforms, the pink, the official color for that. And we do have a number change to remind you and inform you of. Manuel Wardle, who usually wears number 7, will be wearing number 1 tonight for Utah Valley.
I'm liking those pinks.
Yeah, wishing we got a little pink memo for us here.
Polos. They are, especially tonight, they are supporting breast cancer, but they are also remembering former coach Lori Richards, who died 8 years ago of cancer. And her son, in fact, is now a volunteer coach here, Andrew Richards. So the family legacy is living on, and there's a lot to be grateful for the Richards family in bringing volleyball to Utah Valley. And what was once Utah Technical College is when she started, but it was also alumni night, and was able to talk to some alumni who played under Lori. So this is a special night for a lot of people.
There's head coach Sam Matoa in his 21st season. And he, as well as a lot of the other alumni that you just discussed, has known the Richards for a long time. And cancer is a deadly thing. Hopefully we are one step closer to finding a cure. But hopefully, for those who are here, you can take your mind off of some of those things for a little bit and bring you some entertainment with some volleyball. Now, Kaylee, we did mention coming into this, how difficult is it to overcome 2 back-to-back 5-set losses, especially at home?
I think it's difficult in any case to come back from 5-set losses. You look at their schedule, though. They played Thursday, had a really tough game against Kansas City where they went back and forth. It was one of the longest games that I've watched. It was over 2.5 hours, and they battled really hard, but they just couldn't come out on top. And then they turn around 2 days later and play another 5-set match against Cal Baptist, doing the same thing. They won the first 2, but they couldn't close it out, and that it has to be frustrating as well. And 2 days later, they're back playing. And so frustrating, yes, to lose 2 in a row in 5 sets, but I'm wondering how tired they are physically to continue to come back night after night on top of practices and try and do what they know how. So I think Chicago State could be a great opponent for them to bounce back and get a win, but they may just be tired. We'll see.
And an early point is awarded to the Cougars. And they're able to get their service game on. And an early substitution coming in. Rochelle Madison will take the service duties. For head coach Brandon Reeves' squad. A big kill from the outside. Bailey Christensen.
This is a great swing. The middle was held. Kind of was late to go up and block Bailey, but she found a hole, got a kill, and I'd like to see her turn it on this game and establish her offensive game.
Chicago State setting it up. Utah Valley. And there is the ever reliable Gazza Tarafiti. Tarafiti tops both UVU and the conference in kills per set, 3.81. Let's just round it up to 4, why don't we? And 244 total kills. She's tallied 7 double-doubles in the season. And she's a force to be reckoned with.
She is, back row and front row.
And there they go, right back at her. And she gets this one to stay in play. Utah Valley on top 3-1 early on in the first.
This is a smart play by her. She goes deep. It's a little, I'm sure it's a little higher than she wanted it to be, but that could have easily been dug. It was just placed perfectly.
Merrill. Tarafiti, that's just textbook right there.
Textbook, yeah, they know exactly where they were going to. The coach was yelling, go outside, because they knew the set was going to go out to Tarafiti, but they still can't defend against her hard hit.
4-1, Wolverines on top. And that'll hurt your momentum.
How will?
Megan Claviter will do the service, the libero. And another Wolverine gets in the mix. Dute Puifaha. Now I know we talked a little bit earlier, Kaylee, as we take another look at that net cam. You're interested to see if any other Wolverines besides the usual typical household names will step up in this match and maybe get a little bit more playing time.
Yeah, this can be a good opportunity if UVU gets a big enough lead in some sets to get some other kids in to play and get some experience. But you also wonder if Coach Atoa wants to keep in his regular starting squad and work out some of the kinks that they couldn't really fix during the Kansas City game or the Cal Baptist game, and work on getting things in flow with setters and hitters working together. So it could go both ways. We'll see. We'll see if they get a big enough lead that he wants to put other players in, or if he just keeps the same rotation.
Especially halfway through conference, knowing that there's still a lot more volleyball left to be played.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chicago State on the outside, blocked at the net by Utah Valley. Punched right back over. Michaela Jarema getting in on the action.
She has got such a good reach. She blocks this ball, she comes right over. Look how high she touches.
And a dig there by Chicago State, trying to catch Utah Valley off guard. Kept alive, got to get over, get done by Christensen.
Three one-handers.
And this goes out of play. Good eyes by Christensen on the left-hand side.
One hand, and one hand.
Why not use two when you can use one?
It worked.
Chicago State, another ball out of play. Utah Valley now 9-3 over the Cougars. And Brandon Reeves is going to call a timeout to talk things over here in the first. We'll take a quick break as well. Utah Valley on top 9-3. We'll be right back with more on UVU TV right after this.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU. Inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
As we come back here, a little bit through the first set, take a look at Utah Valley and their players as far as they go in the WAC. again, Tana Fiti ranks first and second with kills set, total kills. Saren Merrill, Michaela Jarema. It's always good when you got multiple players on your team who are ranking in the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I had seen earlier too that Maddie Wardle for serving was doing an excellent job in aces per set as well.
And that's a big time smash there by by Kira Williams-Shepard. Williams-Shepard, the senior from Toronto, Canada. Palmieri with the serve. Setting it up on the outside, blocked at the net by the Cougars. And another block, but this time it goes out of play. Point for Utah Valley.
I have seen something happen whenever they set the ball to Kaylee Downs. And right now she just hit outside. Normally she hits on the right side, but they set her one time, and if she doesn't get the point right away, sometimes they go right back to her, and by the second time she puts the ball away, and I love that.
Big time dig there by Tana PT, keep that alive. Christensen gets it over, saved by the Cougars, up in the air. Wolverine setting it up on the outside again, and this one too hard, too far.
It looked like she didn't get a very good snap on that ball. I think if she would have gotten on top of it a little more and snapped it down, it would have had a better trajectory, but that one just sailed.
That's what happened to me. That's why I never played further than 9th grade.
You can snap your wrist.
Merrill gets it over. And Chicago State gets it to fall. Little trouble for the Wolverines at the net. Point for the Cougars, 10-6. Cougars with the serve. Maria Lopez Torres Tapia with the serve. We'll talk a little bit more about her in a second. Chicago State, again, setting it up on the outside, tipped up in the air at the net. Here come the Wolverines, Tana Fiti, and that's automatic.
We even heard Chicago State's coach yelling to go outside again to get on Bailey Christensen, and then Jason Funk Stratton went back row to Kazna to kind of throw him off, and it worked because the blockers weren't expecting it.
Merrill with the serve. Big time block at the net by the Wolverines. And this one doesn't get over. Point for the Wolverines.
I think the Cougars are actually doing a pretty good job of passing the ball. They've been able to run the middle, and they just had another perfect pass to allow the right side to run a quick set. But Utah Valley's defensive front row, their blocking has been really good.
Merrill sends a knuckleball over the net. Good touch by the Cougars, kept alive by the Wolverines. Christensen gets it over. Big booming hit from the outside for Chicago State, kept alive by the Wolverines, punched over by Christensen. And another hammer on the outside. Again, Williams-Shepard doing it from both sides.
That was just a great swing. Solid contact outside of the block.
Lacey Adams gets the serve over for the Cougars, and a little bit too hot to handle for Nutapui Vaha as it goes out of play. Outside by the Wolverines, and a point, Kaylee Downs. Very effortless for Kaylee Downs.
Yeah, it looked like she didn't have a very good approach even as you look. Again, she doesn't get her feet to the ball with her last two steps, so she reaches outside her body, but she was able to get it around the block.
And this one mishit by the Cougars. Last touch by Joseph Gorham. Out of play. And the Wolverines tack on another. That ball had some wicked English on it.
She is a great server. When she goes on runs, she's tough to break, but like we just saw there, she's leading the team right now in aces per set, and I think she's up there in the WAC as well. It's a lot of why Sam starts her servings, because she does such a good job.
This one punched right back down by Childs. Point for the Wolverines. Childs reaches up and smacks that thing right back down. Wardle again. Misses with the slider. Coach Madsen needs another relief pitcher or something. You can have Maddie Wardle take over from the pitcher's mound.
She's got an arm. What I like at any given moment of the Wolverines front row, you have a block that is hard to get by. Right now, with Jasmine and Megan Childs and Bailey Christensen, it's hard for any offense to try and get around them. And then, you know, once one person rotates back row, you have Jasmine will rotate back row next, and then you've got Michaela Drema coming right back in front row. So it's kind of a never-ending blocking.
Block party.
Block party, exactly.
And they're going to get Tana Fiti. Well, they're going to say it's good.
So that's considered a back row attack by the setter on Chicago State. She's back row and she tries to go up and save it, but you can't touch it if the Wolverines can also touch it. So again, that could have been the same call, but Jasmine just did a stellar job of getting up.
Nutze Puibaha with the slam dunk, I guess you could say. Two-handed slam.
Next we'll have a touchdown.
That a little bit too far. Chicago State with the point. 19-10, Utah Valley on top in the first. Claviter with the serve for the Cougars. And Tana Fiti with the hammer.
I'd like to see what kind of, if any, pressure Chicago State's defense puts up against Kasdan, because right now, the last 3 or 4 hits, she has had no contention. Front row.
I think that's your touchdown right there.
That's your home run, actually. That was awesome. Again, no one around to block or touch that ball back row. She's just having her way right now.
All smiles from Tana Fiti and company in the pink. And why not? Michaela Drema getting in on the action.
I mentioned earlier that Chicago State was passing well, but they are not anymore. They're passing way too many overpasses, and you see one after another. Jasmine with the overpass kill right there. Michaela, the one before that, Kasdan. So Chicago State needs to start passing better if they want to score some points. Oh.
Playing pinball. Utah Valley did keep it alive, but the official blew the whistle. Chicago State will take the point, 22-11. Wolverines on top here in the first. And Borum set to serve for the Cougars. Tana Fiti stays in. A couple more subs coming in for the Wolverines as they get set to put a bow on this first set.
Again, you see Kasdan go up, and no one front row touched that, and no one back row. She's hitting hard.
Doing her best effort to keep that one alive. William Shepard, along with Carmen. And the Wolverines at set point. A little bit too anxious. That one goes out of play. The Cougars stay alive to see another point. Beatriz Palmieri from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Downs put the stamp on the first set. Utah Valley takes that one 25-12.
Overall, I think the Wolverines played some good ball. Offensively, even before the timeout early on in the game, they're hitting 850, but we will see how they do coming back after this first set, what they do. Don't go anywhere.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool, too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy, and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life. If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Chevrolet. I promise you'll love it. Before you even think about buying a new truck or SUV, you've got to check out MurdochChev.com. You'll be glad you did. We've got huge discounts on all 2018 models, and you're going to love the 2019 Silverado. Only at Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan and Woods Cross. You've got to come and see.
No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from award-winning accounting to marketing and entrepreneurship programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
Head coach Brandon Reeves at Chicago State talking things over as they drop the first set to the hometown team, Utah Valley. Coach Atoa and his company, all smiles for the ladies in pink. 25-12, they took the first one. Taking a look at really how that first set broke down. Some high percentage numbers there, Kaylee.
I'm surprised, but not, because Utah Valley hitting as high as they did. I mean, that was an offensive show right there for them. They hit 682, which is crazy, but also to have 17 kills in one set, that's 17 of 25 points come from kills. So that's a huge number that you hardly see. And a couple of those key players to that, you've got Kazna Tarafidi hitting 889 with 8 kills, and Kaylee Downs hitting 600 with 3 kills. Those really boost your numbers, as well as the 1,000 hitting percentages from Michaela Jurema and Jasmine Mutipuivaha with 2 kills each. So I'd love to see their offense continue to work and flow like it has been with this team.
Well, if you take a look right there on your screen, number 9, Kazatana VT, that is where the flow comes from, you could say, for this team. Where she goes, the team goes. And right now, they're going in the right direction. Start of the second set here in Lockhart Arena. Brandon Crow alongside Kaylee Doxey. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Monday evening on UVU TV and the WAC Digital Network. Chicago State gets the first point of the second set. And these two teams are going to trade points right back at each other. Line judge thought it was in. The head judge said it was out.
She rules.
She is the queen of the court. Chicago State gets it over on the third. Tana VT. Kept in line by the Cougars. And punched over. A little bit too hard there by Paola Fragelli. Mutipuivaha with the serve. Borum. And the whistle is called against Utah Valley. Point for the Cougars. And a miss hit there, uncharacteristic of Christensen. Chicago State takes the lead 3-2 in the second set. And an ace from Chicago State. Fragelli with the ace.
I think one thing that the Wolverines have to do is, we saw that average, that 15-point per game average that Chicago State has right now in the WAC. And I think if you want to challenge yourself to stay focused against these guys, you need to keep that goal of, if they're averaging 15 points a game with WAC opponents, to keep that as your goal as well. We are going to keep them to less than 15 points per game against us. We're not going to let them score anymore. So it's hard to stay focused sometimes, but it also is easy when they've lost a couple big matches recently, and this is one for them to really buckle down and get a win under their belt and in their WAC record. So
Borum keeps the rally going for the Cougars as she hits that line on that last point. 5-3, Chicago State on top. And Chicago State hits this one out. Utah Valley's turn to serve. And this is the time for Utah Valley, like you mentioned, Kaylee, to really buckle down. After you win a first set like that as easily as they did, it can be very easy to let your guard down and get a little bit lax.
Yeah, and they beat Cal Baptist very handedly on Saturday, I think in the first set, and then Cal Baptist came back set 3, 4, and 5 and did the same thing to them to take the match overall. So this game isn't over until it's over, and I think it can be easy to forget against particular opponents. Sometimes it's hard. I know I played Chicago State every single year, twice when we were in the Great West Conference against them. And it was games against certain opponents like them that were hard to get motivated for sometimes, because they didn't have a great record, but it's easy to get motivated against teams like Kansas City, like they played on Thursday. So it takes a different type of mindset coming into games when right now all they need is a win. They just need to win.
An incredible rally, the longest rally so far of the whole match, goes in favor of the Wolverines. And you're showing, the teams are showing that they're not going to give up that easily, especially Chicago State, keeping everything alive on that last rally. Merrill with the serve.
This is in no way a gimme game at all, especially with, some of the weaknesses that we've seen Utah Valley expose recently. So we've seen their great play and what they can do, and we've seen some of their breakdowns. So this will be a good match just to see them tighten up a few things.
Service from the Cougars. Merrill gets it up in the air for Utah Valley. Downs on the right-hand side, kept alive by Chicago State, punched over the net, up in the air. Christensen comes down with it for Utah Valley.
That was a good hustle play by Christensen. She dug that ball nice and high off her hands right here, and then she had to transition back. She ended up getting set, and she made the kill.
And the knuckleballer, Nettie Wardle. Point Chicago State. Chicago State's really taking it to Utah Valley here and mixing it up in the second set. They're on top 8-7. And a more confident Chicago State out there, more communication going on between them. And Giles says, you know what, I'm going to put a hold on this right now. We're going to get the ball right back.
She has been so consistent lately. She swings really consistent. She doesn't swing super hard. She doesn't have a lot of power, but she finds holes in the defense, front row and back row, and she just does it so well.
Beautiful pancake to save that one for Utah Valley. And a team block at the net.
Huge block. I'm pretty sure Kazna got that whole ball all by herself.
Tana Fiti and Nute Puivaha will take a look. There's the pancake to keep it alive, the punch over. And here comes the block. Looks like Kazna was the one.
That was textbook.
Wardle keeps it alive. Merrill. Tana Fiti tipped up, kept alive. Cougars got to get it over. They do. Merrill again. Wardle. Near side. Childs blocked at the net. Or by the net. Either way, point for Chicago State.
Substitution, Chicago State, number 6, Lacey Adams.
Adams with the serve. Tanafiti for Utah Valley. Now Childs with the touch.
Really smart play. Cougars defense was just too deep, and she saw that, and she went right over the block.
Floats
No
over
one
to
there.
it, gracefully puts it down in no man's land. And a big bomb from the outside for Chicago State, kept alive by the Wolverines. Tanafiti with the exclamation point. Safe to say, I think she's having fun.
She's enjoying herself. It's easy to have fun when you're killing it.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Bounces off the roof, kept alive. Chicago State gets it over. Tanafiti again. Points for Utah Valley. That one got some people up in the stands, up in their feet and flexing.
She's probably stronger than all of them.
Combined. Outside setup for Chicago State. Tanafiti, once, twice, 3 times a lady. 3 straight for Tanafiti in Utah Valley. And a timeout for Coach Reeves. We'll take a break as well. Grab some water, catch our breath, and we'll be right back with a little bit more of the second half on UVU TV.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from DNA analysis to animal behavior, there is a place for you at UVU. A place to rise, to engage, to succeed, to become.
Casa Tanafiti, number 9 right there in your picture. The last 3 straight points. There's 1. Here's 2. And number 3 from the net cam. Casa Tanafiti keeping her team on top, 13 to now 10. Chicago State gets that one right out of the timeout.
Substitution, Chicago State, number 18, Jada Karaman.
Karaman checks in for Chicago State. Gradually, Megan Childs with the big boomer from the outside.
And when I say Megan Childs doesn't hit hard, I doesn't mean she doesn't hit hard. She swings really hard, and she connects with balls when she gets a good set. I just love how clean she seems to swing. She doesn't make a ton of errors, and if she does, it's because she gets blocked, and it's not really self-inflicted. So I like watching her swing on that right side. She does a good job.
Wolverines again keeping it alive on the outside. Now Chicago State keeping things alive. Big block at the net. Cougars trying to get it over, trying to go across the net. Borum hits the net. Point for the Wolverines. Really, she had no other option. A lot of pink jerseys at the net there.
Yeah, that's an intimidating block to have on you.
Good dig there by Merrill. And they're going to call point 2 touch against Utah Valley. 15-11. Wolverines on top of the Cougars in the second set. Big time blast on the outside. Tanafiti again. Nice set to get her on the outside. Stratton going behind her head, but no look. Merrill trying to save it, sacrificing her body. A little bit too much for her to handle. Chicago State gets the point.
Substitution, Chicago State, number 15, Kira Williams.
Borum with the serve. Zarema gets it right back for the Wolverines.
She can touch so high. I just wonder if she goes up and plans on hitting high hands to hit out, because it's almost an easy option, but I like seeing how high she can get on the ball, especially with a good approach.
Merrill's serve goes out of play. 17-13 Wolverines on top. Beatrice Palmieri for the Cougars. Solid teamwork there. Nutapui Vaha. Thank you. Stratton. Now Wardle set to serve for the Wolverines. William Shepard, a little bit too far. Point Utah Valley.
They're going to give that point to Chicago State. Line judge saw a touch, and it was on the block. Bailey, I believe.
That's why we paid the big bucks. Deflected high up in the air. Merrill off the scoreboard and actually breaks the scoreboard. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd. There's a good look at it. Great job by our camera crew to get that shot. Merrill said, you know what? I've seen that thing long enough. I just want to break it. I'm a little frustrated.
I'm done with this.
And a touch against Chicago State gives Utah Valley the point. And a switch of personnel for Coach Reeves. And Christensen set to serve. William Shepard with a nice touch. Point for the Cougars.
That's a great tip to go after. If you notice, Bailey Christensen just served, and sometimes when you serve, you don't get to base defense as quickly as you should. I think she actually did a pretty good job of getting there, but to go after that server on defense with a tip like that can take them off guard.
Tana Fiti! That's just a high percentage play.
Yeah.
Nothing anybody could do there. Finds the open space.
I'm just amazed at this point that Chicago State isn't adapting enough. Nobody is still touching the ball. Not the block, not the defense. She's hitting hard, but nobody's getting their hands on any of her swings. But Chicago State, to their credit, they're doing a good job offensively to answer back and do shots and tips like that. And Utah Valley hasn't been responding well to those. Anything short in front of them, they seem to be on their heels a little bit, and they're just not reading as well.
Jarema goes outside. No touch by the Cougars. Point for the Cougars. And the Cougars are creeping a little bit closer than Utah Valley would like here. Deep in the second set, 20-18, Utah Valley on top. Childs gets it back for the Wolverines, 21-18. And a couple fresh legs come in for the Pink Ladies. Jason Funk Stratton with the serve. Orem gets it over for the Cougars and gets the point for the Cougars. 21-19.
Wolverines really need to side out right now. Keep this game in control before it gets too late into the 20s.
That'll do the trick.
That'll do the trick. Great swing by Downs.
We've got a broken scoreboard. We just had a fan take one off the head. They weren't paying attention. Things are getting dangerous here in Lockhart Arena.
Should put our helmets on.
We're courtside here. Tadafiti with the serve.
Excellent serve.
Point Utah Valley. They put themselves in a great position. And Coach Brandon Reeves is going to call timeout. Think things over. We'll take a quick break as well. Utah Valley on top 23-19. We'll be right back with the rest of the second set right after this.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
Coach Atoa looking over some stats. We are toward the latter stages of this second set. Utah Valley on top of the Cougars of Chicago State, 23-19. Kasna Tadafiti with the serve. She comes up from the back to keep it alive. Merrill. Now Christensen. Chicago State doing everything they can to prolong it, but that one's a little bit too far. And Tadafiti will serve for set point.
So they're going to reverse the call. We saw a line judge saw a touch on the ball, so it's actually going to go back to Chicago State.
Coach Toe is coming over to that line judge to get confirmation of this.
Sometimes it's good for the coach to clarify on some things, even if it is the correct call, to slow down the game a little bit. With the momentum and this being late in the game, don't use the timeout, but maybe slow it down a tiny bit.
Gamesmanship.
Gamesmanship. I don't know if he was doing that intentionally or if he was just trying to clarify, but I like the strategy regardless.
Utah Valley gets the ball back to serve for match point. As we take another look, Jarema a little bit too hard to handle for William Shepard and company. Jarema with the serve. William Shepard dug out by Christensen. Tadafiti gets it over. William Shepard, big smack right at the net, tipped by Utah Valley. Point for the Cougars. See Shepard getting set up on that outside. Left hand comes in. And too much for the front line of Utah Valley. And Beatrice Palmieri trying to keep it alive for the green and black. Christensen with the hit, kept alive by Chicago State. And Tadafiti lets this one shake off. And the Cougars are hanging in there, 24-22.
She ducked that ball with one hand, but she immediately put two hands up as if to say, I should have had that with two hands. She's not quite sure why she went after it with one.
Big time from Utah Valley, and a point for the Wolverines at the net. They win the joust and the set. 25-22. Utah Valley takes it in set number 2.
I am super happy with the hitting percentage that Utah Valley has put up. The one concern I do have, if I'm being picky, is their service errors. Overall, they've had 5. So if they can get their serving errors down and keep their hitting percentage up, it'll be a great third set. See if they can finish the match.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from DNA analysis to animal behavior, there is a place for you at UVU. A place to rise, to engage, to succeed, to become.
If we can see things for what they are. If we can see what they could be. If the plastic we use, we never throw away. If the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others, if we can work as a team, all we have to do is connect, and the world opens up. The future is about giving back.
Did you know that over 43 million Americans struggle with mental health problems annually?
43 million.
That's 1 in 5 adults.
Did you know that there's 1 death by suicide in the United States every 12 minutes?
Did you know that suicide takes the lives of over 40,000 Americans each year?
Over 40,000 mothers,
Fathers,
daughters,
sons,
brothers,
sisters, and friends.
Did you know that you can help reverse this trend?
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness, don't keep it to yourself.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from DNA analysis to animal behavior, there is a place for you at UVU. A place to rise, to engage, to succeed, to become.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lockhart Arena on UVU TV and the WAC Digital Network. I'm Brandon Crow alongside my partner in crime, Kaylee Doxey, and we bring you on camera here to show Kaylee off as she was recognized in between sets here for being one of the alumni of this illustrious program that continues to grow.
Yes, I played 07 to 2010. I finished. It was a great 4 years. I have a lot of pride for Utah Valley University. I am proud to be Wolverine. Love it. I'm happy to be back doing what I am now with you. So this is fun.
We're happy to have you here with us calling the game tonight. Utah Valley sitting on top, 2-0 over the Cougars of Chicago State. As we take a look at these stats here, Kaylee, the numbers continuing to be in favor of Utah Valley, but Chicago State definitely making a comeback during that second set.
Yeah, they had a good run. They pushed. They kept it close. Again, Utah Valley with 17 kills in that second set, making it a total of 34 for the match, which is great. Having a hitting percentage over 500 again is an excellent number. you have those key hitters again. Megan Childs, Michaela Jarema, again, Kazna Terafiti, and Kaylee Downs right now are holding it down. Oh, excuse me, and Jasmine holding it down to those high percentages. So I'd like to see them finish in 3 sets and win this match and feel good about coming off this 3-game home stand with a win.
Third set is underway here in Lockhart Arena. Wardle with the serve, which she has been highly effective at 86% so far. She does not get that credit for that serve, as Chicago State stifles on the opening point of the third. Tadafiti puts both hands up saying, my bad, I have no idea what just happened there. 2 points for the Cougars to open things up.
Yeah, give credit to server right there on that awesome float serve. I think she hit Kazna right where it hurt.
Gradually a little bit too far on the outside. Point for the Wolverines. They try to get their mojo back when Tori Dorius at the serve. And that one goes out of play. Chicago State's going to ride this for as long as they can. Utah Valley's still trying to figure things out. They started out that second set a little wobbly as well. Jump serve from the Cougars. Nita Fuivaha. That's more like it for the Wolverines.
I love watching her approach and into her swing. If you watch her hit right here, she uses her entire body. Her head ends up looking down as if she's using her abs, her head, her neck, everything.
Chicago State setting it up here on the near side. Palmieri kept alive by the Wolverines. Hit over by Tadafiti. Palmieri again with the touch. Gets the point for the Cougars.
And that's another tip that we're seeing they're being successful with. Just short right over the block. They're not playing, Wolverines aren't playing short defense to pick those up. And that is a good tip as well.
Right into that empty spot. Wardle. Big time setup and alley-oop to Childs. Childs a little eager to get back down there with her teammates, getting some last second coaching. The Wolverines take the bounce over the net. Merrill again, great dig. Tadafiti, and this will be a point for the Wolverines. All tied up back and forth. Coming into this third set, Tadafiti had 12 kills. Palmieri blocked at the net. Kaylee Downs says no thanks.
Again, such a strong front row for the Wolverines right now with Downs on that right side of blocking, and you've got Kaz on the outside hitting, and then you have Michaela in the middle to kind of complement them all, blocking and hitting.
Palmieri keeps it alive for Chicago State, and then punched out by the Cougars. Gradually, a little bit too hard.
And that's something that's been hurting the Cougars all tonight. They've had 20 kills, but they've also had 10 hitting errors up to this set. So count a couple more, and they're making a ton of offensive errors that hurt them.
Tadafiti from the outside, a little bit more of a finesse type. William Shepard kept alive by the Wolverines. Kept alive by the Cougars. Great rally here. Palmieri, pancake by Tadafiti, punched over by Merrill. Borum, William Shepard gets it over. Merrill again for Utah Valley. Tadafiti puts an end to it. Point Wolverines.
Such a good defensive show right now with some of those short tips and shots. There was one fan who was just loving life over there watching that defense. But as she should be, that was exciting.
Just focus and determination from both sides, not wanting to let the other team win. Merrill is sacrificing her body. Tadafiti defeats the Cougars right there. You saw that little glance, a little side eye. Tadafiti, she knew where the camera was pointing.
Yeah, or she was looking for a boyfriend or something.
Utah Valley again halfway through conference play. Lost 2 last week, trying to get their momentum back, winning tonight. And we'll take a look at the standings overall through the conference. New Mexico State sitting on top very comfortably. 6 wins, no losses.
That's a great record in conference to have, especially since they've almost played everyone. They're pretty secure up there. Kansas City is creeping up, but you remember Utah Valley played them on Thursday, and it was a really tight game. And Utah Valley also beat Grand Canyon a couple weeks ago. So they win tonight, they go up 4-3, they take control of 4th place, and they're right up there with Kansas City and Grand Canyon, who they've played and competed really well with.
Utah Valley's next 3 matches against Seattle U here, and then on the road at New Mexico State, and then at UTRGV. So a big 3-match trip in the works here for Utah Valley. Try and set themselves up for that conference tournament, which they will host right here in Lockhart Arena about a month from now. William Shepard with the big left hand. Point for the Cougars.
She swings really well for this team. I think she's a good offensive threat. She's leading right now with kills for the Cougars, and she's got a great left hand on that right side.
Tadafiti tipped at the net. Borum sends it to the near side. Blocked again by the Wolverines. Jousts won by Utah Valley. Jarema.
And Jarema goes up like one hand. Presses over. Good reach.
William Shepard from the outside, blocked again by Jarema. It's a deadly trio at the net right there for Utah Valley. Great serve. Jarema punches right back over. Point for the Wolverines. Utah Valley on top very comfortably so far here in the 3rd set, 10-5. Tadafiti gets the touch off the net. Good save by Chicago State, put back right back over. Tadafiti from her backside, keeps it alive.
We see Tori Doriason right now on the outside for Bailey Christensen.
Last touch by Chicago State, point for the Wolverines. Substitution coming in for Chicago State. Jason Funk Stratton with that last point for the Wolverines, puts them at 11. Another vicious block at the net by Utah Valley. Chicago State trying to find their way over. And too hard of a touch by Palmieri from the back line.
I think a lot of why Chicago State is tipping and roll shotting too is because of the block that Utah Valley is putting up. They don't have options to swing because they're getting stopped. So they're forced to tip and roll shots, but they've also been successful at it in a lot of cases.
Chicago State, Utah Valley, Downs. A courageous effort to try and keep that in play. Run libero, Megan Claviter.
And Claviter's had a lot of really good touches today. She's hustled after deep ones, but she's also had a lot of really good short ups to keep the rally going for the Cougars.
William Shepard with the hammer. 13-6, Utah Valley. Shepard locked and loaded.
Really good swing.
Giving Utah Valley a little taste of their own medicine.
Doesn't taste good.
Jarema out. Point, Chicago State.
I almost feel like she needs to be set higher. It looks like her elbow's dropping. She's not reaching as high as she could to get on top of that ball. That might have been why she hit it out, but I think with her reach, she needs to be set a little bit higher.
Tana Fiti, Merrill. And last out by the Wolverines. Another point for the Cougars. Michelle Madison with the serve. Downs gets set up from the outside. Too much for Chicago State to handle there.
I think we talk a lot about Kazna Terafiti on the outside, and I think the credit also needs to be given to Utah Valley's right sides. Between Megan Childs and Kaylee Downs, they have been really consistent and clean. I hardly see them hit negative, but they also have higher hitting percentages. They just don't get as many sets. And I like how they swing. I think they swing clean. I think they're great options. I think if they try and continue to go to them, it'll continue to open it up, just like what they did with opening up the entire floor, going back to Kazna in a rally like that. So smart.
Tana Fiti from the back. She generates so much power. 15-8, Utah Valley on top. And another slam dunk there. Kaylee Downs. Merrill with the serve. And Nutsa Puivaha puts it right back down for a Utah Valley point, 17-8.
Couple overpasses are deadly. So here we're seeing some kids come in. Jasmine clearly is not doing anything wrong to be pulled, but right now they have a 9-point lead on Chicago State in the last set to take the match. So we're seeing some kids come in. Right now, Sadie Hampson gets some time in the middle.
Hampson gets a touch, blocked at the net. Hampson keeps it alive. Big outside bomb by Dorius. Another point for the Wolverines. Net violation caught by our net cam.
Here's our instant replay.
Another big time block. Hampson in the right place at the right time.
They're trying to go back to Kira. She's been effective in generating points for the Cougars, but she's back row now, so they have her come out. You know, I wonder who they're going to try and rely on now, front row, to score them points.
Sorry, they reversed that last point for Chicago State. Hampson with the touch over. Borum, Tarafiti. Another innocent bystander's head in peril. 18-10, Wolverines on top in the third set. Downs, kept alive by the Cougars. Bradley gets it over. Claviter as well. Team blocked by the Cougars. Maria Lopez, Torres Tapia, and Sisic. Torres Tapia represented her home country of Peru earlier this year in the World Cup games in Egypt. Youngest player on the team at 17 years old, a true freshman. Hampson out. Point for the Cougars.
It's a 4-point run for Chicago State. See the Wolverines huddling together as if to try and figure out what are we going to do. You've got a new middle substitution in Sadie. You've got Tori Dorius, who's a substitution. Right now they're just trying to figure out how to get out of this rotation so they can go back and serve.
Deflected off of Sadie Hampson at the net. Sisic forces a timeout. We'll take a break as well. Chicago State coming back in the third. We'll be right back with more right here on UVU TV.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU. Inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
Chicago State head coach Brandon Reeves. Take a look at his team trailing 13-18 in the third set, but they are putting up a fight. Last 4 or 5 points being scored by the Cougars. Definitely throwing the Wolverines off their game. Chicago State setting up Borum on the outside. Borum gets the point, deflected off of Utah Valley.
This is a 6-point run for them, and this is probably the biggest run they've had all night. You wonder if this is just a last effort push to take a set to stay in the game, and just hope that Utah Valley can get the ball back in time to close it out.
Borum blocked at the net by Hampson. Hampson wins it back for the Wolverines, 19-14. I think they heard you. Hampson with that net cam. The 15th member of our broadcast crew. Our trusty sidekick. Wardle. Tadafiti right into the net. Point for the Cougars.
We see another substitution for the Wolverines. We see Kaylee Vigana coming in on the right side. I believe she came in for Kaylee Downs.
Tadafiti keeps it alive. Mistouch by the Wolverines. Then here comes Chicago State, another one. Borum gets it to fall, and Utah Valley netting. 16-19, Chicago State creeping within 3 now.
Wolverines were up by 10 at one point, 18-8, so this is something they just need to close out and be done with.
Isadora Sisic, the service. And another point for the Cougars. Dorius mistouches out of play. And Christensen coming back in for Dorius. Sisic again with the serve. Merrill punches it over. Now on the outside, Palmieri gets another touch to fall for the Cougars. And slowly, Lockhart Arena is getting more and more quiet.
It's easy when things are going your way and balls fall your way, but right now they're switching things up. They're trying to get players some time, and it's not working, so they have to go back to what they know, but it feels almost like it's a little too late. The momentum has been lost. You wonder how they can recover. Yeah, they're still up in the third set, and they're about to finish the match if they can close out this set, but the wind seems to be out of their sails with how things just went. It was a 10-1 run for Chicago State to get back into this game to make it really close.
How do you adjust the sails?
I think you just go back to, they put Bailey back in to try and change things up. They've got 2 newer front row players in Callie and Sadie, but you also have your options back row with Kazna, and you have your veteran setter. I think between the 2 of them, 3 of them, you just readjust the focus and score at all costs, even if that means a tip or keeping it clean. We've just seen a couple hitting errors. And most importantly, off the serve, they have to have a good pass to do any of that. So a timeout is a good choice for Coach Atoa at this point, but just going back to basics, really.
We'll see what Coach Atoa's squad comes up with after this last timeout. And an ace right out of the get-go from Sizic.
Again, just get a pass on the ball. It was a communication thing between 3 of the players on the Wolverines, but pass the ball, make something happen, and get the point.
Christensen, Wardle, Hampson with the slide, blocked at the net by Palmieri. And Utah Valley right now needs to stop the bleeding.
They do, and I think they're trying to do that now with, they're putting back in Megan Childs on the right side. They're putting back Jasmine in the middle.
$11 straight points here for Chicago State. They take the lead. Childs, Wardle, back to Childs. Christensen, blocked at the net. Christensen pokes it over and gets the touch. No, they're going to say that that was Chicago State's point. Some more personnel changes. Hampson steps off. Sizic again. And there is the break that Utah Valley's been looking for.
Huge break, especially since their passing was breaking down. To give them a missed serve like that is a big opportunity for Utah Valley to shut this game down, but they have to start cleaning it up.
Christensen gets the serve over, deflects off our cameraman. So we have bystanders' heads, broken scoreboards, and cameramen. Cameramen are some of the toughest dudes in broadcasting.
If you come to Lockhart Arena, just bring your protective gear.
Utah Valley ties it back up after a ferocious comeback by the Cougars. Boren blocked at the net. Childs, Tanafiti, Nutapuiba. They want to get this thing over with.
Yeah, awesome triple block for them to come in and key on that one player coming around in the middle, but we saw that approach from Borum, and she was coming in on fire. I think you can feel that Chicago State feels like they have a real shot in this set after that comeback.
Childs with the touch, kept alive by the Cougars. And a nice idea, great execution by Wardle, finding the space.
You don't see her dump a lot like that, and I think that's a great time to do it. I don't know that she's done it all match, and I haven't seen it in the last couple matches, so very heads-up play by her.
Savvy move by Maddie Wardle, the senior from Wilsonville, Oregon. Utah Valley on top, 23-21 in set number 3. And it looks like they were able to stabilize the wound.
They were, and I don't know if it had anything to do with players and personnel. I think switching things up can switch up the momentum and the focus a little bit. I think Chicago State did a really good job of serving tough. I think they actually played a cleaner game than Utah Valley did, but putting back in some of the starters feels can feel a little less hectic than switching some things up at times. So it just feels a little better, I think, on the court. And to do that, to stop the bleeding, as you said, is kind of what they needed, just to get those people back in.
Christensen awaits the whistle. 23-21, Wolverines on top. Block at the net by Childs to set up match point for the Wolverines.
Fans, get on your feet and put your hands together. This is set and match point.
Christensen serve. The touch from Borum. Kept alive, Wardle. Tadafiti, who else? Game, set, match, Utah Valley. Victorious over Chicago State.
Great job by the Wolverines to finish in 3 sets. Got a little sticky in the middle of that 3rd set, but they were able to pull it out, stay focused, fix a few things, and come out with a win. That was fun to see.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be joined right here courtside by Coach Atoa right after this on UVU TV.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you.
Place for you at UVU.
Place to engage,
To rise.
to succeed.
To become.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it. Get more vehicle for your dollar from Utah's largest Hyundai dealer. Drive home a new 2019 Hyundai Tucson for only $199 a month, or you'll love the new Elantra for only $13,990. Go ahead and compare at MurdochHyundai.com.
You gotta come and see it in Logan, Linden, and Murray.
Welcome back to Lockhart Arena, where the Utah Valley Wolverines are victorious over the Cougars of Chicago State in 3 straight sets. They take it 3-0. And we are joined courtside now by head coach of the Wolverines and Coach Atoa. Coach, it got a little hairy there towards the end, but you were able to pull it out in 3 straight sets.
Excuse me. Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, we kind of got a little complacent, and some things that we need to be able to just kind of get better at, and wanted to give some other kids an opportunity, and it didn't really work out the way that I'd hoped to. So those opportunities will continue to come for sure for them, but I'm glad that we were able to just kind of settle down and just play our game.
After last week dropping 2 at home, how crucial was this one to get a victory here?
Well, it's very important. I mean, we have a goal to win the conference, and losing those 2 at home really hurt. We still have a shot, but at the same time right now, we just have to take care of things on ourselves. And so you saw how we can play, and then also some challenges that we've had before. And so that's what we're trying to learn, trying to figure out some things in practice and getting ourselves to just be competitive in those moments that we're challenged. And so, being able to do that after the first or second point as opposed to after the 4th or 5th.
What's your goal going forward for the next 3 games? You guys have 1 more game at home, and then you have a couple on the road where you meet New Mexico again, you see Seattle. Right. What's your goal going forward for those games?
Well, I think that most of it is just about the areas of the game that we need to control. We need to be better at our serve receive. and being able to run our offense that would allow us to execute. It's very similar to what we did in that first set. I mean, yeah, we hit I think 800 or something, and maybe one or maybe no errors at all. But and we don't expect that for sure. But however, we have the capability of being able to do some of those things, and when we take care of things, when we're able to put the ball perfectly on a free ball and run our offense, those little things like that helps, and that's what we're trying to get our team to be focused on, so that we're not surprised about certain things that happen, but that we're able to read it and then be able to react to it.
Well, enjoying the win tonight, Coach. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the week and the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, the final again today, 3-0, Utah Valley over Chicago State. And the Wolverines will look to regroup before coming back against Seattle U later on this week, and then taking on the road against New Mexico State, UTRGV, and then after that, the final 2 home games for the Wolverines, Bakersfield, Grand Canyon, before finishing up the season on the road. For all of our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for our producers in the studio, for Kaylee Doxey, I'm Brandon Crow saying so long and good night from Orem, Utah. Utah Valley victorious.